Pastor Rob here from the League City Ministry here at Gloria Day. I want to welcome you as we continue our discussions and videos. And today we're talking about divorce. At our get-togethers in the community, those at P's and Q's at Craft 96 and Wine in the Word at Duo Winery, we get a chance to be in the Word together, to have conversations together, but also ask questions. And the question was brought up, what does Jesus, the church, teach, believe when it comes to divorce? Now, this is a tough topic to talk about because this is something that affects a lot of us. For some of you watching this video, you might be somebody going through a separation right now. You might be somebody watching this who has gone through a divorce. There's also a good chance you know somebody who's dealing with it right now. It might be a parent, a sibling, a good friend. So how do we talk about it? How do we share what Jesus actually says? The first question, what is divorce? And biblically, it is a corruption. It's this sinful thing that happens that breaks up this beautiful union between two people called marriage. And divorce is a result of this corruption happening. The Bible is very clear at the very beginning, man and wife are supposed to be come together as one. And as they come together as one, it actually becomes a worship to God. And yet, after the fall, when sin enters the world, corruption happens. And unfortunately, marriage was not spared. And people today, in the lives we live, suffer and go through this. So the question then is, what does Jesus have to say about it? What is the church? What do we believe? When we look at Scripture, we actually see where Jesus actually talks about it. We can turn to Matthew 19, Mark 10, or Luke 16. Now, these are Gospels. They're actually in the beginning of the New Testament, the last quarter of the Bible. And today we're going to focus on Matthew chapter 19 to see what Jesus has to say. So let me help explain what's happening right now. Jesus is walking towards Jerusalem. This is him getting ready for him to go to die on a cross. And on his journey towards Jerusalem, he gets stopped and asked by Pharisees. And they're trying to trick him. And they ask him, Jesus, what's your feeling about divorce? And they ask this because there are two kinds of teachings out there. There's a liberal teaching. And when I say liberal, what I mean is a teaching that says that if you can divorce a woman, if you're a male, for any reason, as long as you can get it on paper, it's good. That's the liberal view. There's also a conservative view. In the conservative view, what I mean by conservative is that the only reason why you can get a divorce from a woman if there is marital infidelity. That's it. And they're trying to figure out, where does Jesus stand on this? And how can they trap him? So let's read what Jesus' response is when they ask him, where's your stance? And again, now this is from Matthew 19. Have you not read, he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Whatever therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. So instead of Jesus giving an answer of the liberal or conservative side, he quotes Scripture. Instead goes back to the heart of what a marriage is supposed to be, which is two people becoming one person. Two people worshiping God in their union. Now the Pharisees don't like this answer because Jesus wasn't a conservative or liberal. Instead, he just quoted Scripture. So this is what they say to him. Why then did Moses command one to give a certificate of divorce and send her away? So Pharisees are asking, well, in the law of Moses, if divorce was allowed as long as you gave a certificate, why did Moses let this happen? Again, trying to trap Jesus. And this is what he says. Because your hardness of heart, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery. So Jesus' response? Yeah, divorce was allowed. And in fact, there was a protection given towards women that if someone got divorced, they were given a piece of paper to show that, hey, they were free to marry somebody. Not because it's the right thing as far as a divorce, but because of your hardened hearts, because of your sin, this was allowed. But from the beginning, a man and woman first came together, Adam and Eve. It was about being together and worshiping God. Yet because of this corruption, that's why I used that word earlier, this sin that we have now in the world, divorce ruins this thing that we call a marriage. As we talk about divorce, what we're really getting at is that divorce is a sinful, it is corruption of something beautiful, a marriage. This is brought up because we live in a culture, society where over 50% of marriages end in divorce. And whether you are a Christian or non-Christian, in the church, outside of the church, the statistics don't change much. Which means, again, everybody who is watching this video is one way or another connected to or affected by divorce. So what does that mean as a pastor and I talk to a couple where one or both have been through divorce? The job isn't to condemn somebody, but instead for us to talk about it. What happened? What happened that last time? And let's face it together and work together as we start this new journey. Because if we don't, if we ignore the things that happened in the past, it's only going to repeat itself again and again. And as a pastor, as a Christian, as somebody a part of a community, it's really my goal and our goal together to share the love that we are not alone, that there's a Father in heaven that loves you, who's with you, a Lord who actually died for you so that you may have a new life. Oftentimes we quote John 3:16, but a lot of times we forget about John 3:17. For I, the Lord, did not come into this world to condemn the world, but to save it. And in these brokenness, these marriages, and all this corruption that we face, we have a Lord that is with us. So I don't know what's going on with your journey today, where you are at, but you are not alone. You have a Lord who loves you and cares about you. I hope this talk was helpful for you. And just to let you know, here at the League City Ministry, we have events happening all the time. We are meeting at Craft 96 for a thing called P's and Q's, a chance to ask questions just like the one we dealt with today. We also have Wine in the Word at Duo Winery on Thursdays. They're the second and fourth Thursday. And there we get a chance just to do a Bible study together, to read through the book of Luke right now. Check out the bottom of this video to learn more about our website, our Facebook, and how to get connected. And what other questions and conversations can we have together? The Lord bless your day.